Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Cilla Black. Now, for the ones that don't know who Cilla Black is, she was very loved by British, the English and she was well known. But I'll go through the key facts in life because I've got my notes written down here. But for me personally, she was a bright of sunshine, right? She just glowed. She had a natural way about her. I was just a kid when she was on the TV, and with different programs that I remember her with, and she was quirky. She was funny. Very witty person, so lady. She was lovely. She was a lovely lady. She come across authentic and genuine. So I watched one of her documentaries, a film that's on Netflix, and it was like, it brought me back to me remembering as a child what she was like. And I did watch a couple of her things on YouTube, back in the days, stuff that she used to do and stuff. Would share it here, but I got to be careful with copyright stuff. But her real name was Priscilla Marie Veronica White. A music paper accidentally called her Cilla Black in an article, and the name stuck, which I didn't know that. There you go. She comes from Liverpool, UK. So she had Liverpool Roots. She was born in Liverpool in 1943. She started her career as a cloak girl in the famous Cavern Club where she met the Beatles. They loved and singing and helped her to get noticed by their manager, Brian Epstein. A bubbly personality, you were that's my friend helping. She was known for being warm and funny, down to earth. Her ability to connect with people was her greatest gift. And I tell you, if you watch, I'll put some clips of Cilla in the description box, and she was, when they say you laugh, someone, people follow. That was Cilla. So I've got a lot of laughs as up the top there. That was one of her sayings. Surprise, surprise. So she was on Surprise, Surprise. So it was like a game show. Well, it's like a game show, like, surprising people. So she goes, surprise, surprise, is Cilla here? Just said lot of laughs. What's your name and where do you come from? So she used to do blind date as well. Do I need to buy a new hat was when she done the blind date, when she used to fix people up. So she was just a character in herself. Unfortunately, her manager and husband, she was married to her manager, Bobby Wills, for 30 years until he passed away from cancer. This was a huge part of her life and career. She passed away in 2015 at the age of 72 after a fall at home in Spain, which led to a stroke. Bless her cotton socks. So her career, singing star. In the 1960s, she was a huge success singer. She has 2 #1 hit songs in the UK, Anyone Who Had a Heart and You're My World. I'll find the links and put them in the description box as well. TV presenter, as you remember, she became an icon TV presenter. Her most famous shows was Surprise, 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 and Blind Date, which I used to watch, which was the biggest British television for decades. Right, I told you a little bit about the drama. So this is called The Cilla. It's a drama starring Sheldon Smith. If anyone knows Sheridan, she played in 2 Pints of Lager and a Packet of Crisps, which is a good program as well. I used to enjoy that program. So it's a 3-part drama series, not a documentary. So yeah, It tells the story of her life in a dramatic acted out way. The series focused on Cilla's early years, from the time she was a cloak girl at the Cavern Club in Liverpool in 1960 to her first major success as a singer. Key story points: her early singing career and how she was discovered by Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager. There you go. The challenges she faced, including her first record deal falling through, the beginning of a relationship with her husband Bobby Wills, who was her manager, and the story behind her first two #1 hits, Anyone Had a Heart and You're My World. The tone is very focused on her youth energy, her ambition, and the close bond had with her husband and family. I really enjoyed watching, the background of it, because I only just know her from the things. So everything I'm going to do is, I'm going to put in there. This is for entertainment purposes only. It's not factual. I'm just going to look in my cards and see what I can pick up, okay? I thought I'd do the Heart and Soul Tarot Oracle reading, because I feel usually when I do videos, it's usually because I feel a connection with that person, whether they're famous, it is irrelevant. I just, they have some kind of influence in my life. Okay, so we're going to do an open prayer. So if you'd like to join me in open prayer. So, divine source of wisdom, I call upon you guiding lights today for this reading for Cilla Black. I ask that the messages revealed bring profound clarity and insights in the true essence of their heart and soul beyond the public persona. Help us to understand the circumstances that shape their journey and illuminate their path towards with grace. I ask for support and protection for everyone watching and for this sacred space as we commence. Now, I did do a check-in to sort of see if Cilla's going to be joining us. No, she's not. I got a no, which I did with Amy too, so which is fine. I checked to see if I can do the tarot, which is the Joy Seekers Tarot. That's what I commonly do. So what we're gonna do, right? The first part of the things. So I have cleansed the deck, but we're gonna wake it up. Gonna give it a wake up, a shake up. Okay, I've got my dowsing crystals just in case I want to ask questions with it. But we're going to look into the heart of Cilla and her personal experiences and her inner world. Okay, so let's have a look at the. And I can learn to shuffle. You think after all these years I would be able to do it? Right, okay. Right, let's wake this deck up. So, this heart and the true heart of Cilla Black. The true heart of Cilla Black. Can you give me guidance with the true heart of Cilla Black? Wow, there you go. Can't say no more than that. The Star card. She was a kindred in... Oh, can you see it? Oh, there you go. She was a kindred in spirit, So she was a star to be born, I would say. She was a true... From what the energy you pick up from the, when you watch her and, over the years and stuff like that, you could see she was a beacon of light, so to me, she was a star that was going to be born. Okay, so here we look at the bird and she's the spreading of her wings. So Cilla is a person, that wanted to spread her wings a lot. She was a person who was the biggest influence, I would say, would be herself, on how she put herself out there. Okay, so she did glow. Yeah, I got a lot of positive things to say about Cilla. I have with all of them, to be fair, but yeah, you can see the heart of her is the star. The star was born. And how it was taking shape. Yeah. Okay. Her personal experiences. So let's have a look at her personal experiences. For her personal experiences. I tell you what, she looks like she, we know, I know bits of history about her, but as you know, my brain can't forget great information. But from what I'm getting with the judgment card is that to me, her personal experiences was to rise again. Look at the bird, it's a rising up, yeah? So she was a force of nature. She was a force of nature, and she wasn't willing to sit back down, which did come up in when I watched the documentaries too. But you can see, this is about second chances and a rising up. Okay, so her personal experiences made her stronger to arise from certain situations, and that we got the birds of flight here. So she was a voice. She's a voice that was needed to be heard. Here, her inner work, her inner world. Sorry, not inner work. Her inner world. Let's have a look at her inner world. Page of Cups. She was a messenger. She had a lot. This is like a lot of Lola. Lola. This just feels like, she was a messenger. She felt she needed to do more. She felt inspired to do more. I wouldn't say she was a people pleaser, but she just valued people and valued things, and she strong in the connection of people. Her love, her nature of love, her inner world, She was also very in touch with her inner child, very in touch, and she was playful. She had a very playful side to her, and that. But we got the page, which is like, the child in the deck. So to me, that's like she brought that playfulness out. So what was working and what is ironic, right? And I haven't seen it before, but I don't know if you can see it. Look at that shape there. Doesn't it look like a lady coming out of, from the page, from the fish, transforming? So to me, that's it sounds really bizarre. So we got a lot of pink there as well. So she had a lot of, there we go, a lot of love to give. But it was more of in a playful manner. Yeah. So she had a young spirit. She was a very, and I feel like that was the most heaviest influence of all, because she brought that out in herself. Okay, so she was very connected to her child, her inner child, in a positive, which was a positive influence for what for how she presents herself in the world. Okay, so I'm going to look at like outside influences. So that impacted her. So we'll look at fame. We'll look at fame first. She wouldn't bothered so much about the fame. She's seen it. She's seen things in a different perspective. With Hangman is like looking at things in a different way. So how some people would interpret things, she interprets it quite differently. I think this is where she was trying to bring love into the... Be interesting to see, like, you know, her soul contract here. Right? So her impact on Flame, like, you know, she wasn't overly bothered by it. I think she had patience. I could be wrong. But I'm seeing that she's seen it. She's seen Fame as very different from the rest of the rest of people, you know. It's like I want to bring playful cards and I don't know where my playful cards are. So tell me more about the Hangman and her playfulness. King of Pentacles. She was very grounded in what she wanted when it comes. So the impact of Fame didn't affect her. She was very grounded in what she wanted. Here you got the King of Pentacles. Yeah. So I wouldn't see Fame influencing her to a degree where, you know, there was a negative or a positive. I think she was just a grounded person. There, okay. So in her relationships, you know, how did it affect the relationships around her? There was certain conflicts around in relationships, okay? So she did have some challenges when it comes to that. What was the challenges? So what was the challenges that she was facing with that? It was almost like things was put to an end, but it turned out for the best in the long run. I tell you what, she's coming across a person who is very grounded, know exactly what she wants, knew exactly what she was going for, very playful, wanted to bring that out, it's not that she wanted to be different, she was just being her, she was being herself, okay? So it's like I'm getting, once she was done, she was done. So she wouldn't continue the fight with the Five of Swords. She wouldn't continue the fight. Once she was done, she was done. There was no going back from it. She would, you know, she would end it, but she wouldn't take it to heart. It was almost like, well, that's how it is, and yeah, we're done now. I've said all what I gotta say. I've done what I can do. That's it. I'm done. There you are, look. The tower. It's like I'm done. But to me, she's seen it as it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing for her. You know, so if certain relationships that broke down, it was like, okay, she accepted the fate. She accepted she was more acceptance of it. Which is a good attitude to have. Okay. So media, social media, reviews on social media. Didn't expect any of this. I didn't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I spoke my truth. I spoke my truth. They can have their opinion, but I spoke my truth. That's what when I look at the card, that's what I see. I spoke my truth. They can have their own opinion. I tell you what, she didn't show any kind of, I mean, we all bound to have stresses and stuff like that. I'm not painting her that she would, but yeah, she feels invincible in the sense of she had so much love to give. She was very grounded in her decision making, and she wasn't going to allow people to get in her way. So if media had a bad opinion about her, she was like, oh well, it'd be somebody else, it'd be Chip's newspaper tomorrow, so it was like very blasé about things. Yeah, so she said, I speak my truth, I say it as it is. I'm secure in who I am, and I know who I am, and the people that are around me knows who I am, and that's all that matters to me. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this. Interesting. Okay, right. So the demons. Now the demons, I class it as like your fears, your struggles, the inner world struggles and the demons. So we all got them. So what was her fears? Coming from that, she was quite a strong character. So what was her fears? Page of Swords. I think with her is the problematic of it. I wouldn't say it was the problematic of things. So I think it was more, it aggravated her. Page of Swords is like minor setbacks and stuff. So I think she had sometimes the fear that she was going to be pulled back a lot for what she wanted to do. And she was, but the truth of the matter is that she was willing to put the work in and the effort in to change that. So although that was a fear for her, it wasn't one that would stop her it wouldn't stop her doing what she wanted to do. She would still carry on regardless. But it was a fear that, sometimes she had that bit of anxiousness about the details. I'm also getting the feelings I'm getting is not that she suffered from anxiety, but more like perfection, like that perfectional side, and that would get to her. But she had a great, I don't know, she's got a really amazing energy here. I just feel like real positive vibe with it, and she was willing to put the work in. I think she was also worried about other people's influences around her at the time as well. So that, that would be like one of her struggles that she would face and her fears there. But overall, I would say she was willing to put the work in regardless of what was going on. So their soul's expressions, this is where you would, and their passions. I think I kind of like touched on that. So I'm going to just like pull a card on that and maybe a card of the yin and yang. So her passions, the driving force of her. 6 of Wands. Again, she knew what she wanted and she went for it, and she was successful at it as well. Very passionate lady, very passionate, driven. I would see that. I mean, she was really looked up to in the British things. I don't know if you guys have heard her everywhere else, but here, I mean, the Six of Wands is about someone is successful. Their soul's expression, they're successful. They've got that drive up to the success, you know, and the message that she did give to the world. Her inner world came out with her, you know. So what you've seen basically is what you got, basically. She wasn't like, she was being her absolute self. That's how I would see that. Interesting. Right. Their soul contract. So their soul contract. For her, it was knowing when to give up, when to sort of, like, on her soul aspect, I would see that as, you know, Eight of Cups is about walking away, but it's walking into something that brings you more joy. So I know she has some challenges when it comes to her music and stuff like that, and they wanted her to go to TV. I think she found that hard. That was a hard, tough decision. It shows that in the documentary, so I ain't gonna lie. But it's coming out in the cards with the Eight of Cups is like the walking away card. The Seven of Cups is the confusion around it. You know, is this gonna be a deal breaker here? The Ten of Cups, it to her, you know, it brought it all together. It was almost like what she gave the world, you know, what she gave the UK was her heart, basically, her heart. And the Ten of Cups is that the pleasure, you know, bringing families together and the connections, and that would make sense with the surprise. She would bring people, you know, it was bringing people together. Blind date, bringing couples, you know, getting people to meet people, you know, and build relationships with, you know. So it was like a fun communal thing, and that to me was her soul contract, was the but she had to give up something that she did truly love, although she did do singing it on the TV program and that, which kind of like she questioned that quite a bit at first, but as time go on, she could see how it was benefiting the whole system of it, and which was her message from the start. That's the impression I've got here. I think that's just amazing. I just think I don't want to go any further than that. So we didn't use any oracle cards, but I don't think we need to. But I want to sort of like, what would be the message from Cilla now? What would be the message from Cilla now to you guys? What message would she give to you guys? So I know that sometimes things comes with heartache, and we go through phases in our life where we lose things, lose people and stuff, and it can consume us. But we must not forget that with this, we can do more. We can be inspired to do more. It's not the end. It's not the end of us just because we're going through those elements. We've got the Three of Swords, which is the heartache, the heartbreak. The Devil card, which could be like, you know, the obsessions where we get overindulged, that we forget what our passions are, what we were thriving for in our first. Don't let heartbreak or anything that, you know, that's hard in life bring you down. Or stand up in this, okay? Choose love and connection. You've got the Empress card and the King of Cups as the final card. Love will get us through. Love and connection and family will get us through those moments. And it doesn't matter what type, you know, you don't have to be blood to have family, you know. It's just it's who's surrounding you at the time and who's around you at that time. That will bring the harmony. So the message for the message I would say is, well, I just said it, didn't I? Don't let the negative side of life make you forget the good side of life, of what connection is all about. I'm going to leave it as that. So we're going to do a closing down prayer, because we're it was a short one, guys, but I think that's how it should have been. So that's Guy. With the deepest gratitude, I thank the divine for the profound messages and insights received today, particularly concerning the heart and soul of Cilla Black. We are truly grateful for this guidance and understand as now I close this sacred space, I send forth healing and blessings to you all. Thank you for joining me. If you did like the spread, love the reading, please give it a like. I really appreciate it. You don't have to subscribe, it's cool, it's fine, but give us a like. Comment below, is there anyone you want me to touch on the heart and soul spread? I'm open to ideas. I have got a list, but you know, if you feel like a connection and you'd like to go into it, please put your comments below. And with that being said, you take care, and I will see you soon. I'll see you on the other side. Much love to you all. That was a lot of laughs.